At the end of the topic, you will be able to list the type of cell with respect to shape, list the types of cell with respect to function, discuss the structure and functions of cell organelles.
A typical cell. The cell is the basic structural and functional unit of all living organisms. Some organisms, such as bacteria, are unicellular, consisting of a single cell. Other organisms, such as humans, are multicellular or have many cells. Each cell is an amazing world in itself. It can take in nutrients, convert these nutrients into energy, carry out specialized functions, and reproduce as necessary. Even more amazing is that each cell stores its own set of instructions for carrying out each of these activities. The major and the most striking difference between bacterial cells and cells of other organisms is the absence of a true nucleus in bacteria, while a distinct nucleus is present in other cells. Because of this difference, bacteria are called prokaryotes, while all the algae, fungi, higher plants and animals are called eukaryotes.
The table listed here shows the various types of cells and their shape. You can also have a look at the certain cells and their functions.
Cell structure. The basics. The cell contains a plasma membrane, a protective coat, cytoskeleton, cell scaffold, and cytoplasm. A cell's inner space are common to all the cells from bacteria to man or a plant. However, the bacterial cell differs from the cells of plants, animals, fungi, and protists, as these organisms have several intracellular structures known as mitochondria and chloroplast, the power generators, nucleus, the cell center, lysosomes, the cellular digestive system, endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi complex, macromolecule managers, plastids, pigmentation, and vacuoles, pumping machine. These are the organelles present in these cells. Each organelle has its own membrane, but bacterial cells have no such organelles.
The electron microscopic study by Porter in 1945 revealed a network of membranous system with vacuoles in the endoplasm. This was named as Endoplasmic Reticulum by Porter in 1952. It is assumed that the endoplasmic reticulum originated by evagination of the nuclear membrane. Two types of endoplasmic reticulum have been observed. They are rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum, based on the presence or absence of ribosome in the endoplasmic reticulum respectively. Functions of the endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum provides an ultrastructural and skeletal framework to the cell. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum helps in the synthesis of lipids and in the breaking down of glycogen. During cell division, the endoplasmic reticulum membranes disappear and form a new nuclear envelope after each nuclear division. Many minute spherical structures known as ribosomes remain attached with the membrane of endoplasmic reticulum and form the granular rough endoplasmic reticulum. The ribosomes are produced in the nucleolus. Each ribosome is composed of two structural units, one smaller and the other a larger unit. The small subunits occur on the larger unit and form a cap-like structure. The ribosome also may occur freely in the cytoplasm. Function. They are the sites of protein synthesis. The electron microscopic observation of Golgi bodies reveals the presence of three membranous components, namely disc-shaped group of flattened sacs or cisternae, small vesicles, large vacuoles. Functions. It produces secretory vesicles like zymogen granules that may have enzymes inside. It forms certain yolk substances in the developing oocytes. It helps in retinal pigment formation in the retinal cells. It helps in the formation of acrosome in sperm cells. Lysosomes are a kind of waste disposal system of the cell. Lysosomes originate either from the Golgi apparatus or directly from the endoplasmic reticulum. Each lysosome is of a rounded structure. It is filled with dense material. Functions. Lysosomes help to keep the cell clean by digesting any foreign material as well as worn-out cell organelles. When the cell gets damaged, lysosomes may burst and the enzymes digest their own cell. Therefore, lysosomes are also known as suicidal bags of a cell. In the cytoplasm of most cells, large-sized filamentous, rounded or rod-like structure known as mitochondria may be seen. The mitochondria are bounded by two membranes made of proteins. The outer membrane forms a bag-like structure around the inner membrane, which gives out many finger-like folds on the lumen of the mitochondria. The folds of inner mitochondrial membrane are known as cristae. Functions. Mitochondria are considered to be the powerhouses of the cells because they are the seat of cellular respiration. They also synthesize the energy-rich compound ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate. Centrioles were first described by Hennegai and Leuhorsek in 1897. The centrioles are microtubular structures found in two shapes, rods and granules, located near the nucleus of the animal cell. Function. At the time of cell division, the centrioles produce spindle fibers and astral bodies. They also decide the plan of cell division.
In this topic, you have learned
the cell organelles are present in the cell cytoplasm matrix, which are the living structures of the cytoplasm. The endoplasmic reticulum provides an ultrastructural and skeletal framework to the cell. Each ribosome is composed of two structural units, one smaller and the other a larger unit. The small subunits occur on the larger unit and form a cap-like structure. Lysosomes help to keep the cell clean by digesting any foreign material as well as worn-out cell organelles. The centrioles are microtubular structures found in two shapes, rods and granules, located near the nucleus of the animal cell.
At the end of the topic, you will be able to classify animal tissues based on their function, discuss the structure of muscle tissues and their functions, explain the different types of blood cells, draw the diagram of a nerve cell and identify its parts. All multicellular organisms have their body formed of many cells. The cells forming a multicellular body are differentiated into several types to carry out different functions. Such specialized cells are organized into groups called tissues. A tissue can thus be defined as a group of cells having similar structure and function. Based on the structure and function, animal tissues are classified into four basic types, namely epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. Epithelial tissue consists of cells that cover the external surfaces of the body, like skin and internal organs such as the lining of the digestive tract. It protects internal organs, produces structures like hair, nails, feathers, horns, and gland cells, which secrete a variety of chemicals and may involve in the receiving of external stimuli. Epithelial tissues are of 5 types. They are squamous epithelium, consisting of flat cells, cuboidal epithelium, which is cube-like epithelial cells. Cells of ciliated epithelium have hair-like projections called cilia. Columnar are long and cylindrical cells. Glandular epithelium is present in the intestinal lining. Connective tissue. It helps in binding the other tissues and organs together and provides a framework and support to various organs in the body. It plays a major role in the transport of material from one tissue to another. It also helps in body defense, body repair, and in the storage of fat. There are 7 different types of connective tissues, each performing a different function. Areolar tissue helps in packing tissues and thus helps to keep the organ in place. Cells called fibroblasts are the major components in this tissue. Fibroblasts also help in repairing the tissues when they are injured. Cartilage tissue is found in the joints of bones, the tip of ribs and the nose, external ears, and in the trachea. Embryos of several vertebrates do not have bone, but cartilage. The entire skeleton of a shark is made up of cartilage. Bone tissue is made of calcium phosphate and calcium carbonate. These salts are secreted by cells called osteocytes. Osteocytes are present in the central hollow portion of the bone called bone marrow. Ligament tissue connects bones at the joints and holds them in position. It is made up of a large number of fibers. These fibers are made of a protein called collagen. Tendons are a type of connective tissue made of fibers and collagen. It joins the muscle to the bone. Adipose tissue is present beneath the skin, around the kidneys, and in bone marrow, and it stores fat. This tissue is made up of a large number of cells called adipocytes or fat cells. The layer of fat, especially below the skin, prevents heat loss from the body. Blood is a fluid connective tissue. There are different types of cells in the blood, each having a specific function. All the cells in the blood float freely in the plasma. Extracellular spaces are filled with plasma. Cells present in the blood are called corpuscles, and they are of three types, namely red blood cells, white blood cells, and blood platelets. A normal human adult has about 5 liters of blood. Click the animation button to know more about human blood cells. Muscles are responsible for stature, movement of hands, legs, and also of internal organs. Inside the muscle tissue, each nerve divides into many branches so that each muscle cell is connected to the nerve. When the nerve is stimulated, the stimulus reaches each muscle cell in the tissue and the entire muscle contracts at one time as a unit. Based on their structure, location, and function, muscles are of 3 types. They are striated, non-striated, and cardiac muscle. Striated muscle is also called skeletal muscle, as it is attached to the bones in the skeleton and is responsible for the movements. Each muscle has several long, thin, and unbranched fiber-like cells. Each cell is as long as the muscle. There are several thin lines or striations across the muscles, hence the name striated muscle. Non-striated muscle consists of short, elongated, spindle-shaped cells. These cells do not have striations and make up the smooth muscle. Contraction and relaxation of these muscles are not under our control. Hence, it is called involuntary muscles. These muscles are present in the blood vessels, intestine, and other tissues which exhibit involuntary movements. Cardiac muscle. As the name indicates, this muscle is present in the heart and is responsible for the pumping of blood. The cells are long and branched. All the muscle cells in the cardiac muscle have striations. Though it resembles the striated muscle in its structure, it is an involuntary muscle. Click the animation button to know more about muscle tissue. Nerve tissue. Nerve cells are specialized for receiving information from the environment, analyzing them, and transmitting appropriate responses to appropriate effector organs. Nervous tissue is made up of 2 kinds of cells, nerve cells or neurons and supporting cells or glia. Glial cells are called supportive cells. They protect the neurons by providing nutrients in the central nervous system. Click the animation button to learn about the structure of the neuron. Glial and Schwann cells. The central nervous system consists of neurons and glial cells. Neurons constitute about half the volume of the CNS, and glial cells make up the rest. Glial cells provide support and protection to the neurons. They are thus known as the supporting cells of the nervous system. The four main functions of glial cells are to surround neurons and hold them in place, to supply nutrients and oxygen to neurons, to insulate one neuron from another, and to destroy and remove the carcasses of dead neurons. Astrocytes and oligodendrocytes are the types of CNS supporting cells. The supporting cells of the peripheral nervous system are known as Schwann cells. In this topic you have learnt epithelial, connective, muscle and nerve tissues are the four major types of tissues in animals. Epithelial tissues cover the surface of the external and internal organs. Connective tissues, apart from binding the organs, are also involved in transporting many substances. Muscles are responsible for the movement of hands, legs, and also of several internal organs such as the intestine and heart. Nerve tissues have neurons and glial cells.